When it comes to me and Jason Jackson, I believe he's a very well-rounded striker. I hit way harder. I'm blessed with serious power and knockout power.
I did everything right. Train right, eat right, and I have a lot to fight for. I can't lose.
It's my big moment. It's the start of my legacy, as I put it. Time to show everybody what I'm really capable of.
The other fighters need to be worried about me because I'm on a mission. And there's nothing more dangerous than a man who's on a mission.
Las Vegas is a city where a lot of people come to test their luck. Tonight, 10 fighters have come to test their mettle in the audition of a lifetime. Hi, everybody, and welcome. This is Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series pre-show brought to you by Toyo Tires. I'm Laura Sanko, and this, of course, is Forrest Griffin, UFC Vice President, Hall of Famer, and I feel like we just need to add legend in there at this point.
Well, thank you very much. Despite my legendary status, you have actually had one of the best moves on the Contender Series thus far. It is your preemptive handshake when the sweaty, victorious men come run to give you a hug.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it. You go in there with the handshake, you corral them, you conduct the interview.
Well done, well done.
We are in week 3. We have 5 weeks to go, and I got to tell you, weeks 1 and weeks 2 have absolutely delivered. But before we go into the details of this week, talk to the viewers a little bit about how the show works, the format.
The concept. So Dana White, you saw, is looking for a fight series. He's been out there. He's been scouting the best non-UFC talent. So he invites them to come out and basically, like you said, audition to be in the UFC. And bear in mind, these auditions aren't based on winning or losing. They're based on your performance. They're based on how exciting you are. So these fights will be better than, say, a tough fight where you know you're going to have to fight again the next week. This is one and done.
And at the end of the night, he awards 1 fighter, maybe 2 fighters, maybe no fighters, a UFC contract. So if you guys want to engage on social media, talk about these fights, use hashtag Contender Series. This is a series you guys are not going to want to miss. There is a free trial on UFC Fight Pass, so you can't say that you can't afford it. Live every Tuesday night on UFC Fight Pass. Okay, let's talk a little bit about last week. We saw Sean O'Malley punch his ticket with a one-punch walk-off knockout, but he was not the only fighter with an incredible performance. Let's take a look at last week's highlights as commentators Brendan Fitzgerald and Paul Felder walk us through.
Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series. Episode 2 is in the books alongside UFC lightweight Paul Felder. I'm Brendan Fitzgerald. What a night of fights we had, Paul, and we had one contract given out this week to the bantamweight prospect and still undefeated Sean O'Malley.
Yeah, you know, and I got to agree with Dana going with this. If they're going to pick one contract tonight, this kid had it all. He's got style, he's got flash, he's got the look, he's unorthodox, he's all over the place, and more important than anything, Sean's a finisher. That's what we want in the UFC, especially in that division at 135, tall, rangy, gets it done, looking away, fake right hands, head kicks. I really like this kid. He's athletic, he's impressive, and he's young.
He's made a pattern of knockouts and backflips inside the octagon after a win. All right, how does he size up in the bantamweight division after earning that UFC contract?
But that's what we're going to find out, right? He's got that opportunity now, and I think he does well. I think with his reach and his size, he can be trouble for a lot of these guys. We talked about it. Most of these guys at 135 are short, stocky wrestlers. If he can use his range and his unorthodox strikes, he's going to be a handful for any of these guys at 135 in the UFC.
Meanwhile, elsewhere tonight, we had 2 fighters that were coming back to the Ultimate Fighter gym after being on the Ultimate Fighter in seasons past, including Ton Lee, who wanted to show that he is much more well-rounded now. He didn't have to go to the ground, but he made some highlights of his own.
No, my goodness, this guy's kicks were absolutely devastating. You could hear them probably back on the East Coast. This kid was kicking so hard. He knocked Lazar off of his feet at one point. I was super impressed. It's a shame that more contracts weren't given out because this guy should get another opportunity. I say, in my opinion, bring him back, put him on the show again, let him have an opportunity to shine. He's got devastating kicks and is impressive. I'd like to see him get another shot.
And that is an option. Dana White has chosen Charles Byrd, who we saw get a win in week 1, to come back on Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series later this summer. We'll see if those opportunities materialize for some of these other fighters. In our featured bout of the night, it was a funky first-round finish, but Daniel Spahn battling back after suffering some strikes to the back of the head, and he walks out of here a winner.
Yeah, you know, the doctor was taking a long look at him, and he comes back, runs across the cage, throwing pieced-up combos at this guy. I thought it was about to be a TKO. Instead, Instead, he locks up this arm triangle, which wasn't even fully in, but he squeezes so hard and he's so athletic and strong that he still got the tap. Was beyond impressed with his ability to endure that, you know, back of the head shot, come back and get a submission victory. Again, I'd like to see him get a big fight, and maybe, you know, he's on the short list as well.
All right, let's size up week 2. How would you describe what we saw tonight in the Ultimate Fighter gym?
Tonight was unbelievable. I think this is exactly what this show is all about. I think this is exactly what Dana White wants. These guys came into that octagon and they put it on the line the entire time. I was blown away by the performances of these guys. Guys I didn't know, guys I've seen before. I loved every second of it, and I just want to say to the athletes who came in here tonight, good on you guys.
Sydney Outlaw and Casey Kenny, the other winners tonight here on Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series. Tuesday nights in the summer just got a whole lot better for our entire crew and my partner, Paul Felder. I'm Brendan Fitzgerald. We'll see you next week on UFC Fight Pass, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific.
Well, I would definitely say that the bar has been set for us. What's your takeaway from weeks 1 and 2?
Well, my favorite thing thus far is that fighters that perform okay, even have KO wins, get an opportunity to come back. So maybe you don't have the best fight and you don't get the UFC contract that night, you get an opportunity to come back.
Another highlight of the Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series is, of course, the Snoopcast. I am referring to the alternate feed where you get to watch Uriah Faber and Snoop Dogg sit there and talk through fights. It's absolutely incredible. They're sitting there sipping on some gin and juice. Literally, it is the Wild West of broadcasting, you guys, and you're not going to want to miss it. Let's take a look at some of the best moments from last week.
Let's do this.
Episode 2.
Yeah.
Season 1. He looking at them punches come. He just watching himself get hit. He looking at these punches hit him in his face.
One strike's off the bat right now. One strike's off the bat. Soften off the strikes, show the uppercuts. No, you have to land yet.
Need some incantation. Change your voice. Little intensity. Hey, motherfucker.
Yeah. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. Come on, get him into it.
See?
All this mellow shit, that's why he getting his mellow ass kicked.
Boom!
That comes with the blanket.
That's the only way you're going to take Lazar out, because he's a tough dude.
That's ground and pound. He went ground beef on him. He meat tenderized his ass. Oh, yeah, he got him in the, what is that?
You don't want to know.
Take the booty position? He had him in the take the booty position. 3-piece dinner with biscuits. Oh, Mally! Oh, Mally! Oh, Mally!
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Mally! Give that kid a contract! Hey, this the next motherfucking champ in the UFC, man. The Sugar Show, believe it.
Next week, guys, tune in for the Snoopcast.
Yeah.
The legend.
Same dog channel, same dog time.
Yeah.
You bitch you.
For shizzle. My digital. Hey, we go. Hey, that was a good one, huh?
Well, it is official. Uriah Faber has the coolest job on the planet. Forrest, I feel like yours might be a close second.
Yeah, it's debatable. I've heard it both ways.
Guys, don't miss the Snoopcast. Go to UFCFightPass.com. Sign up for your free trial today. Now, in addition to tonight's featured bout, there are, of course, 4 other fights. Which one are you most looking forward to seeing?
Well, Dan, say his last name.
Ige.
And Luis Gomez. I know Dan. I know he's good at fighting. He's very skilled all the way around. So I'm interested to see him fight.
Of course, tonight's featured bout is between 2 light heavyweights. We have Carl Robertson taking on Ryan Spann. Let's learn a little bit more about both of these fighters.
I'm Ryan Superman Spann, fighting out of 40 Superman, Dallas, Texas. When I was younger, they called me Super Kid. As I started to get like 17, 18, it kind of changed over to Superman. I resonate with Superman a little bit because he didn't like to hurt people. I hate having to hurt people, but I have to provide for my family. I have a 5-year-old son, and I have a 2-year-old daughter, and she was born 3 months early. I've never been so scared in my life. She was born July 24th. I didn't get to hold her until October. She's doing amazing now. I can't even keep up with her sometimes. She is so fearless when I fight. I want my kids to know that Daddy loves them. So every time they introduce me, I always do something for my kids. The motion that I do, I raise my arms up like I'm showing my wingspan, and I come down into praying hands. So my son was really young, so he started doing it all the time. So I kept doing it for my son. And every time I walk to the center of the cage, I hold my chest, that's for my daughter.
Hey, we about to jump out of the airplane. What? What I like about adrenaline sports is it's a mental thing. It's a push mentally. Like, a lot of people can't do it. Every time you do something extreme, you find more about yourself, what you can do, what you're capable of, and I love that. My name is Carl Robinson from Neptune, New Jersey, fighting out of KLBCSA in Oakhurst. Time to show everybody what I'm really capable of. I train with the top of the top. Corey Anderson to Frankie Hager, Frankie Perez to Eddie Alvarez, to Chris Wyman, to Wonder Boy. They always tell me that you have the potential, you have the skill, you have the talent. Listen, you got it. You got to just stay focused. Just keep pushing and just keep going. And that's what they taught me. Like, there's no quit. I'm better than him because I don't think he works as hard as me. He doesn't. There's no way. He doesn't hit as hard as me. He hasn't been through the trenches like I've been through. He hasn't fought anybody like I've fought. Out there, I'm gonna hurt him. I'm gonna test his will. He's gonna go to sleep or he's gonna quit.
There's nothing more dangerous than a man that's on a mission. My mission is simple: provide for my family. There's nothing that can stop me. I'm Superman. Superman can do everything.
This is everything to me. I've been putting my whole life into this, and this is just my time. I'm the one.
Well, when the light heavyweights collide, there is always the scent of knockout in the air. Forrest, what do you think about this matchup?
I'm confused at what knockout smells like. No, I think that's a good point. You talk about knockout. We know Carl comes from Glory Kickboxing, and he's got a very good kickboxing arsenal. However, Span's got some great chokes. I believe he had 8 submissions, some guillotines.
He's a guillotine expert,
The
for sure.
long arms make guillotines, anacondas, all that stuff, very easy to get. My big question is, can Carl actually reach? Will the distance be too much?
He talked about his time in Glory being, something that prepared him to bring pressure, the type of pressure that MMA fighters are not used to seeing, and he feels like it's going to be a real advantage in this fight.
Well, that's a good point. That's a 3-minute round. This is a 5-minute round. So if Carl gasses, don't be surprised. The other thing is it's a lot more physically taxing to wrestle than to kick and punch.
I'm not going to argue with Forrest Griffin over fighting, guys. We'll see when the action goes down here in only moments on UFCFightPass.com. Head over for your free trial. Thank you very much for joining us on the Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series pre-show brought to you by Toyo Tires. This is Forrest Griffin. I am, of course, Laura Sanko. Enjoy the fights.
As I started to go out and look at talent around the country, I started to realize how much talent there is. The level of athlete is getting better and better. This has never been done in the history of combat sports. We're literally going out there all over the world to try to find the next world champion.
Growing up in Waianae, Hawaii, you're always fighting, I believe that God has put me on earth to be a champion one day.
My mom did a great job of raising 6 kids. Sometimes we didn't know if we were gonna have heat or not. Sometimes we didn't know if we were gonna have hot water or not. We got through it, and now I'm here fighting for them.
I have no idea how I was comfortable sleeping in the football field in Hamilton Park. I had bags of training clothes. I knew deep down, this is all gonna change.
I was diagnosed with leukemia when I was 2.5 years old, and I've always been a fighter. All I needed to ever do was show Dana that I deserve to be here.
I came from the bottom, clawing my way to the top.
This is everything I've been working for. I'm ready.
I was the little guy in a pretty rough neighborhood. I'm gonna achieve greatness, and this is just step 1.
There's no denying that I should be in the UFC.
I fight for my kids.
I fight for my dreams.
I fight for the glory.
I fight for my kids, I fight for my family, and I fight to be the best in the world.
The only person I fear is my mom. I ain't fighting her, so we good.
What's up, Dana? I hope you have that multi-fight deal for me, because I'm coming for the knockout.
If you know me, you know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for exciting fighters that go for broke and try to win.
I came from the jungle. I'm ready to be one of the top fighters in UFC.
I deserve the second chance. I belong in the UFC.
Who knows what's going to happen, but I'm in there to finish my opponent.
For Dana to be impressed, I have to finish this guy.
I'm going to put on the fight of my life.
The Tuesday Night Contender Series, live and only on UFC Fight Pass.
What's your problem? Bored?
Stop whining and watch a fight. Not just a fight, pretty much every MMA fight worth watching. How? UFC Fight Pass, that's how. It's a digital streaming service with the world's largest fight library, original shows, and exclusive live events. That's thousands of fights beamed through your eyeballs and into your brain. Anywhere, anytime. Problem solved. UFC Fight Pass solves everything.